Hi everybody, how are you? So today, just before we do the class, it's week 4, so we'll have done this class after today 4 times, hopefully you've had time. I just wanted to go through something very quickly. Sometimes I just assume people understand what I'm talking about, but obviously that's not always the case. When I'm saying to you, if your feet, I'll say in this position, so they're kind of slightly pigeon-toed. And when I say slightly pigeon-toed, it's not like that. It basically means the outsides of your feet are pretty much parallel with your mat. And then I'm saying to you, feel like you're trying to get your feet into duck feet. So the point of this is if my feet are slightly pigeon-toed, that means my thighs are internally rotated. Okay, so what I want to imagine is that even though my thighs are internally rotated, it's like I'm trying to externally rotate them. Okay, so when we practice our physical poses, we never want to kind of collapse. We always want to feel like we're trying to resist doing the thing that our body is naturally falling into. And I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully, if you've been doing yoga a while, it started to make sense. If you haven't been doing yoga for very long, sometimes I say these things and I assume that people know what I'm talking about. And I know that's not always the case and it needs a little bit more explanation. So I'm just going to give you an example of how this works in an asymmetric pose like Trikonasana. Okay, so in modern yoga it's called spiraling. I doubt it was called that in traditional yoga. But basically what it means is, I'll start with my arms, that if I have my arms out here and I might turn my inner elbows towards the ceiling, then I take my palms back but my inner elbows stay where they are. And that makes my arms feel a little bit more powerful and strong. It's not passive. So you can see in this position, the front leg, the outside of the front foot's parallel with the mat, so that would mean my thigh is internally rotated. And even though it looks like this thigh is internally rotated, if I bring that foot up there, because the foot's turning out like that, that makes it externally rotated. So when we do Trikonasana, this thigh is rolling in. So when I'm saying squeeze the heel as if to the right side, it's exactly the same instruction as like trying to get into duck feet. So if I do that, it's like I'm trying to roll my thigh that way, even though it kind of wants to roll that way because that's the position I'm in. And with this thigh, it's naturally rolling out. So what I want to do is feel like I'm rolling it in, and then I'm turning from my belly, from my waist. You see what I mean? And that's the pose. You might be up here, you might be down there, but you definitely don't want to be doing this because you'll lose the pose. So that's just one explanation of it. Obviously you can put this forward if you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you don't need to hear it more than once. But that's kind of, when I say, even though your feet are in, try and roll them out, and you're making them, you just want to make everything feel strong and firm, okay? And your feet, when they're on the floor, really useful to use your feet a little bit more efficiently than maybe you have been, because just anchoring your feet, using your feet in particular ways, it creates firmness in the core and also the muscles in your legs. Let's begin anyway. That's enough for today. You can always email me or text me or put a message on the messaging thing if you want me to explain anything else, or I say something and you go, what does she mean? I just assume everyone knows what I'm talking about, but it might just be babble. So let's begin. Get comfortable. Either be in Baddha Konasana, or if you prefer, feet flat on your mat for constructive rest position. It's a little bit warmer this morning for me in my bedroom. So I just want you to start by checking in. So that means you're really paying attention to how your body feels this morning, your physical body. That's always a good place to start. We're always much more aware of our physical body. And also your emotional self. So your energy levels, what's going on in here, whether there's something on your mind that you can't stop thinking about. We're all a bit the same at the moment, aren't we? When will it end? What's our choice? I think we just have to kind of go with it. right now anyway. So just allow your body, allow your spine and your ribs particularly to sink gently into the mat. We're going to do some slightly longer inhalation rounds to begin. Make them nice and slow. Just feel as if you're very gently pushing down on the pelvic floor just before you inhale. And feel the inhalation start low in the belly. Feel the majority of the air move into the main part of the belly, a little tiny bit into the lower chest, tiny bit more into the collarbone area. It's 3/4 of a lung full, and when you're ready to let go of the air, just allow your body to soften excuse me, and relax. So you're not pushing the air out. It's just that feeling that you get maybe after you've had a big day, particularly if there's been physical activity involved. And finally, you get into bed and you sink into the mattress, under the covers, and you go, oh, it's so good to be here. Just want you to feel or enjoy an experience of completely surrendering. And I also want to remind you that, we're often going about our life, our day, going, once I've done this, then I can relax. Once I've done this, then I can relax. But I want to maybe give you an idea that perhaps we can relax while we're doing the thing that's stressful. That's what yoga's teaching us to do, physical yoga. So don't wait to the end of the practice and go, oh, that's a nice rest. Don't wait to the end of the day to sink into your bed. Give yourself permission throughout the day to soften, to relax, to release, to be in the moment. So let's complete the exhalation round and bring the knees together if they're not already. Press the toes, the heels, the soles of the feet quite firmly into the mat and lift the pubic bone slightly. Bring the chin in to lengthen the spine. And if it's more comfortable for you, one knee at a time, maybe towards your armpit. So your toes are quite close, but your knees are wide. Relax in that position again. Let go of that feeling of anticipation, something's coming. And then hold on to your shins. Bring your knees just that little bit closer. Try not to force. And let's create some resistance. So we're pushing shins into palms, palms into shins. Relax, that might feel a little bit easier. So fish pose, Matsyasana variation. So broaden across the upper back. Press the shoulder blades down, bring the chin in, relax the belly. And then expand the tummy on the inhale. Feel as if you're lifting the belly, the chest, the collarbone, as if towards the ceiling. So the front of the body expands and the middle of the spine moves away from your mat. Relax. Allow the back of the body to sink back down. Bring the arms in between the thighs and push the arms into the inner thighs and the inner thighs back into the arms. And relax. Take your palms to your outer knees and push your outer knees into your palms and your palms into your outer knees. And then relax. And bring your knees together. Pop the arms down by the side. So we'll give the hips a little bit of a wiggle from the left to the right side. So we're checking in, just noticing how the lower part of the spine is feeling. And if it feels better for you just to continue, excuse me, with the side to side movement, absolutely fine. Otherwise, we can maybe do a little bit of a circle and experience each of the four corners of the lower back connecting with the mat. And let's go back, opposite direction. Finishing off. So bring your knees in and give your hips one last wiggle from the left to the right side. And then anchor your left foot on the mat, grip with the toes. Take the right leg straight, 10 centimeters or so off the floor. So we're holding the leg in this position for just a few moments because it helps to relax and release the hamstring. You can feel it yourself. It goes like jelly. Front thigh muscle goes nice and firm. When you're ready, we'll do some one-legged bicycles with the right leg. And then opposite direction. We're going to bring the right thigh nice and close to the chest. Interlink the hands around the shin, give it a push and relax. If it's enough, stay there or flatten the left leg to the ground. So you're anchoring your heel, pressing the back of the leg a bit closer to the floor if you can. We'll do this like the fish pose. So we're pushing the shin into the palms, pressing the shoulder blades down and feeling as if we're trying to get the belly, the chest, the collarbone up towards the ceiling. Relax. Allow the back of the body to sink back down. Take your fingers towards the bottom of your mat. Leave your head on the floor if that's preferable, or expand the tummy on the in-breath, chin to your throat, peel the upper body off the mat. Possibly you could lift your left leg, but make sure you're nice and relaxed in your tummy and bring the left thigh to the chest. Lie back down. And we're going to roll over to the left side to do clams. So I've got my left arm out to the side, but you could put that hand under your head if you want to. So feet quite close when you're ready. We lift the right knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, gosh, that's my stomach. 6, 7. It likes these. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, and we're going to do it with a straight leg, but you don't have to. You can do another 12 or rest. So pushing into the ball of the right foot. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we're going to bring our knees together. And our shins are going to touch. We're just lifting the lower legs. So knees are on the floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And come back into constructive rest. So even just that very short little sequence has made a difference. You can feel it feels a bit odd on the right side. So grip the mat with the right foot, left leg straight. So it's about 10 centimeters off the mat. Hold it there for a few seconds. That's just going to help release the hamstring. And one-legged bicycles with the left leg. Opposite direction. And we're going to bring the left thigh nice and close to the chest. Interlink the hands around the shin, give it a push and relax. Now, if it's what you did on the other side, stay here or flatten the right leg to the ground, anchoring the heel, pressing the back of the leg down. And we'll do this with resistance. So we're going to push the shin into the palms, just like the fish pose, and shoulder blades down. Feel like you're lifting your belly, chest, and collarbone up. And relax. Allow the back of your body to gently sink back down. So fingers to the bottom of the mat. And you can stay here with your head on the floor, or you expand the tummy on the in-breath, chin to chest, peel the upper body off the mat. Maybe lifting your right leg if you can. And you still want to breathe into the belly. We want these side abs nice and soft. And bring the thigh to the chest. Lying back down, right arm out to the side. And we're going to just roll over carefully onto the right side for clams. Okay, so when you're ready, left leg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And left leg straight. You can adjust a little bit if you want to. You can do the same that you just did if you want to. When you're ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12. And we've got one knee on top of the other, shins are touching. We're just lifting the feet and the lower legs. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And back into constructive rest position. Check in again, and hopefully it feels even on both sides. So thighs to the chest, feet towards the ceiling. So you can see my legs aren't over there. I've got my legs bent so they can be in this position. And fingertips to the bottom of the mat. Expand the tummy on the inhalation, leave your head where it is, or chin to throat, peel the upper body off the mat. Some of you might be able to lift your tailbone, again, check, face, neck and throat, relax. Now, if you don't want to come up from here, it's not comfortable, it's not practical, it's, you know, not good for your body, don't do that. Lie back down, roll to the right side and come to sitting and then standing in your own time. Otherwise, you can roll up to sitting, possibly you can come up to standing. All right, so next part of the practice, this is where we practice Tadasana with our feet. So you bend the knees, push the groins forward. This takes us out of our typical posture, so it does something different to what we normally do. Get a little bit of a stretch here and bring your arms so that you've rounded out your back and your fingers are almost touching but not quite. Now I can feel my head going forward, so what I want to do is bring the chin in and extend out through the crown of the head. Lift the elbows but bring the armpits down. Tilt the weight forward, notice the toes grip, and then I want you to feel like you're stretching the mat apart with your feet and then feel like you're trying to go into duck feet. When you do all those things, suddenly your knees feel very strong and your legs feel quite powerful. Relax the belly, so follow as best you can. I'll give instructions as we go along, obviously. It's nice not to be wearing a mask while I'm teaching. It's very challenging. Couple more. Last one. About 10. Put your own spin on it, feel your body moving, particularly your trunk, your stiff bits. Off to one side for 5. Center 5. Off to the other side for 5. Center. One side. Center. Other side. And last 5 to the center. Last one. Don't let your bum stick out. Five. And 12. Last one, back to the beginning. arms stick out. Five. Last one. And 12. Last one. We're going to go back to the beginning. One more. And 5. And 12. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Are you ready? 12. Hold on to the imaginary energy ball. Push that left sitting bone forward. So that's easy. Harder. Challenging is imagining you're going to touch your right armpit with your left heel. So we're going to go into a crisscross. So this is a simple variation. You can add on by doing a little twist, little forward bend, or you can do a bigger forward bend. Just be cautious. Coming back up. Now we're going to leave the left foot where it is, go into the twisting half moon by sliding that right toe tip back. Lift if you want to, but don't feel obligated to balance. And obviously you can hold on to something. Have a chair handy, a wall, someone else. Take your right foot back to the mat. Left toe tip into the corner. Remember, we're pushing that left sitting bone forward, making that right arm really long. And you're imagining your pubic bone pushing to your right foot. Stay, or left leg off the floor. Doesn't have to be high. Do what you can. Half moon position. Go straight into the balance if you want. Follow me for an easier variation. Left toe tip to the bottom of the mat. Ooh, my mat's all a bit funny. Lift the pubic bone belly to the back of the mat. And if you want to balance, grip with the right foot. Lift the left leg. Belly should be relaxed. Now for those of you who feel confident enough to go straight into the next pose, it's a warrior 3, and then we go into the lunge. Follow me for an easier variation. So you can just kind of slide that back foot a little bit. But then what we need to do is push the tailbone down, lift the pubic bone. Take the torso back, bring the arms up. Can you see there my torso is nicely centered, so I don't feel as if one of my legs is bearing the brunt of all my weight. Turn your belly button to the right side, right arm down, left arm into the corner, reach. And no need to touch the floor if you don't want to. You can just stay here. This is a bit of an add-on. Left fingertips to the floor, right arm up, squeeze the right heel as if towards the opposite side. And I've got one more add-on as well. Again, optional, stay here or come up to the original position. Otherwise, bring your palms together, press your upper left arm into the right thigh. Resist back. It's a twist. Come back into that side stretch if you can. Give yourself an imaginary cuddle. Easier. Do 2 more like that, or this is harder. Now on the 3rd one, we're going to do something different. So you breathe in, I should say the 4th one, all the way forward. Easier, harder. challenging. If you wanted to, go straight into the dancer's pose or follow me. So this is easier, harder, challenging, and for some people this will be really difficult. Some of you can have a go, I'm sure. And Karate Kid position, so simple, harder, challenging. Pop your left foot down. So we're starting on the right side this time. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Take the right leg out. Hold on to the imaginary ball. Right toe tip forward. Push the right sitting bone forward. Leave your toe tip on the floor. Lift if you can. Doesn't have to be high, but you can always imagine, even if your foot's not very high off the ground, that you're trying to touch at your left armpit with the right foot. Crisscross position. So very simple version. Try not to do this. Harder, little twist, little forward bend, and obviously you can go deeper into that if you want to, if it's safe for your body. Now the next pose we're going to do is a twisting half moon. So we're keeping our weight on the right foot, which is off the mat, left toe tip behind. So easier, harder, and obviously quite challenging maybe. Don't forget to breathe into your tummy. Remind yourself to relax in your stressful situation. And let's go back. Left foot back to the mat, right toe tip in the corner. It's a scoop here. And we want the armpit close to the ear here. And we want to feel as if we're trying to get that pubic bone to the left foot. You feel that feels different here when you do that. These tiny little things make a massive difference. So a little lift, bigger lift if you want to. Tummy breathing, remember. Just check. See all these core muscles working when your leg is off the floor. Half moon position, go straight into it if you want to. Follow me if you just need a little bit of a breather. Tailbone down, pubic bone lifts, belly to the back of the mat. Gripping with your front foot, maybe you lift. Optional. Try not to lock out your balancing leg. Now for those of you who feel confident, you can go from the warrior 3 into the lunge. For those of you who just feel a little bit wobbly, follow me. So this is our warrior 3 variation. I'm just going to slide that right leg back a little bit. And then we drop the tailbone, lift the pubic bone, take the torso back. Can you see the difference between being here? And the other thing I want you to notice is that my knee is tracking with my toes. All right? Because sometimes I see all these kind of things. Not great for your knees. All right, relax the belly. Little twist to your left. Left arm down, reach over there into the corner. You'll feel that in your hip flexor, probably on the right side. Stay there, that's fine. Otherwise, right fingertips to the floor. Belly turns to the left. Left arm up, don't stretch it back like that. Keep it nice and fluid. Squeeze your front heel as if to the opposite side. Next add-on, optional, don't have to do it. Stay here or come up to the first position or bring your palms together. And we're pressing the upper right arm into the left thigh. And I'm pushing into the back foot, but I'm also scooping my front sitting bone forward. Let's go back into the, oh, no, that was a side stretch, wasn't it? Sorry, peeps. Give yourself a bit of a cuddle. And simple, oh, it's not really simple, but it's easier. 2 more like that, or follow me, harder. And then on the next one, we need to get momentum by breathing in all the way forward, easier, harder, challenging. Go straight into the dancer's pose, Natrajasana if you want to, or follow me, so that's easier. That's harder, challenging, and maybe possible, maybe not. See how you go. I'm sure Amy can do it because she's a rubber band. And into Karate Kid, which is easy, harder, challenging. Pop your feet down. So you can follow me for this one. We're just going to do 1 round of fancy hands because I think you get the picture. You can do an easier version or a harder version, but be really cautious if you're coming down and you've got sore knees because it won't make them feel any better. Are you ready? So fancy hands, press the palms, come up if you can, bend a little bit. That's safe. This might not be. Swap. forward, round out the back, stay or come up. Bending a little bit is safer. Coming down only really works if your knees are made of steel. I'm not sure mine are, but they feel okay today. Now we're going to do a twist, a side stretch. Follow me. Swap it over. And now we're doing the twist. Second side. Turn from the navel. Back to the first position. Roll your shoulders. I should say, take your arms out behind you. Push into the heels of your hands. Push your chest forward. Push your belly forward. Fingers to the floor. And then maybe come up onto the balls of your feet. Roll your shoulders all the way in, rounding out your back. And squeeze your hands into a fist. Maybe come up if you can. And then either going back into this position or you're bringing the backs of your hands together, shoulders down, arms back, come up onto the balls of your feet. Same thing, a little bend is okay, but you only want to come down here if it's muscles, not gravity. Because you need to be able to get up again, don't you? Second side, shoulders down if possible, arms back. Stay or come up, bending a little bit, much safer. Be careful if you're going to come down. Now, shoulders in, bring the arms up. This is the long vinyasa. Alright. When you're ready, a bit like a swim stroke. Left leg back. So, 1, 2, 3. Into warrior 3. So simple, harder, challenging. And again, we're going into that lunge. You can slide your leg back or foot back the way I showed you before. Otherwise, anchor the ball of your foot, lift the pubic bone, drop the tailbone, arms forward. So you can see my back looks like I'm riding a road bike. Nobody collapses their spine when they're on a road bike. Imagine the Tour de France or those roundy backs. That's what you're looking for. Elbows forward, push into this back foot. So now I'm really, really focused on pushing into my back foot, breathing into my belly. Trikonasana, let's have a go. So we drop the back foot, we turn the belly up. I'm going to straighten that leg but not completely. Navel moves to the ceiling, left arm up. So some of you might be here, which is fine. You only come down if suddenly your bum doesn't stick out to the right side. We're squeezing this front heel to the left, as I said before, and we're moving always from the core. And we want to lengthen into the fingertips. All right, so it's not rigid, but it's nice and firm as well as soft. Stretch them out apart with your feet. Breathe into the tummy. Now let your left arm drop, because sometimes that lack of movement is just unconscious tension. There's nothing wrong with the shoulder. It's just accumulated tension. So let it relax. Let it relax. Feel like there are strings on your fingers and someone's pulling your arm forward. Now can you see how my armpit and my ear are connecting again? That's what you're looking for. Then I'm going to turn my belly up. And then I'm going to imagine I'm trying to reach for something with those left fingertips. And again, I'm pushing out through the back foot. And that is a monumental feeling of lengthening down my left side hip and in the hip flexor there. Okay, so you should be feeling that too, I'm sure. Obviously, if you've got a sore shoulder, you won't be doing this one. You have your hand on your hip. Let the left arm drop again. Now we internally rotate that left shoulder, wrap the arm around and hold something. It could be your right leg. It's more likely to be a bit of material. Now when I say turn the belly, the first thing people do is this. That's your head. This is your belly. So keep your head where it is. Then turn the navel to the ceiling. Stretch them out apart with your feet. Keep squeezing that front heel as if to the left side. And warrior 2. Bit of a holiday after that, isn't it? So we want a reasonably wide stance. You can see my front heel and pretty much the inner arch of my back foot are in line. I'm going to push that front sitting bone forward, tailbone to the back heel. See this knee? It's tracking with my toes. It's not doing something like this. That's why you need to keep squeezing that heel to the left. All right, let's try the spiraling thing with the arms. So inner elbows up, palms to the floor, leave the inner elbows where they are, ribs in. Again, we don't want this front knee or the head to move. Focus on your belly. Feel like you're trying to get your navel slightly to the back of your mat when you're ready. Nice and soft in the arms. 1, or the left arm anyway. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug the imaginary tree. This is Gajastan. And if you need a break, straighten your legs, have a narrower stance and not such a deep squat. Let the tummy relax, lean back a little bit. Breathe into the belly. When you're ready, shoulders in. Back of hands together, arms up, slightly out. Interlink the hands, push them towards the floor, then forward, and then up. Maybe you can come up onto the balls of your feet. Drop your heels, arms out to the side. Stretch into the heels of your hands. Fingertips to the ears, leaning right. Give it a push. Imaginary cuddle. Palms up. Lean left. Give it a push. Imaginary cuddle. Palms up. A little breath in, belly to the right. Right arm back, left arm forward. Little cuddle. Palms up. Breathing in, belly left, left arm back, right arm forward. Another cuddle. Shoulders in. Back of hands together, arms up. You can always have your hands on your thighs and adjust the position of your feet for the next one if you prefer not to take your hands to the floor. But if you can, take your hands to the floor, adjust your feet so they're slightly pigeon-toed, and you can walk your hands forward, you can use a block, and you can look forward if you don't like that feeling. Some people get, as I said before, pressure in their head when they have their head hanging down. So you've got options. But let's work on this spiraling thing with the legs. This is what we do in this pose. So I'm going to have my legs a little bit bent, push into the outer feet and grip with the toes. And then I want to imagine I'm trying to get my feet back into Gajastan, because if my feet aren't strong and my toes aren't gripping in this position, I just kind of sink into a knock-kneed position. I don't want to do that. I want to feel like I'm trying to externally rotate my thighs, even though in this position, my legs are internally rotated. I hope that makes sense. We're going to relax the upper body if possible. Let the head and the neck relax so that the shoulders fall possibly onto the earlobes. And that way you can use gravity to traction your spine rather than squish your spine. Keep the legs strong. Now, let's walk the hands forward if they're not there already. And let's get a sense of how stiff the trunk is, because we don't move it very often or in the appropriate ways. So right hand on the belly, round out the back, don't turn your head, breathing into your belly, turn your navel to the right side. Take the right arm out, so not back here. And then we're going to use this left hand to try and twist the belly button to the right side. Can you see that? So I'm trying to turn my belly to the right side so that this is moving. I'm not just doing this, right? This, it's tricky. Push into the right foot for some resistance. And bring your right hand down. So let's try the second side. Left hand on the belly. Breathing in, tummy to the left, left arm out. Rather than stretching it back, use your right palm to twist your navel to the left side. Push into the left foot this time. So a lot of those movements that we do, energy balling, the movements we do in the beginning, these are all about loosening up the trunk. Really important to loosen up the trunk. That's where all the major organs are. Back to the first position. So we want that blood flowing easily, freely. Now you could shimmy, or you might be able to do a little, I was going to say a drunk. I don't know why I was going to say that. I meant jump. Scoot forward with your bottom bones. I don't know what I was thinking about. So we're going to do the lawnmower 1, 2, make it nice and graceful, and 3, and then maybe we do easy, harder, or challenging into easy, harder, or challenging. Pop the left foot down. So I'm hoping you're going to check in and feel that this left leg is quite different now compared to the other one. It feels a lot lighter. Let's get the other leg feeling the same. So, little swim. Right leg back. Are you ready? 1, 2, and 3, and into warrior 3. Simple, harder, challenging. And obviously you can scoot back the way that I showed you before, otherwise go straight into the lunge, push into the ball of the back foot. That will help to stabilize you. What also helps is lifting the pubic bone, dropping the tailbone, arms forward, elbows closer. So you feel that stretch in the upper back. That creates heat as well. But I also want you to consciously push into the ball of your back foot like you're pushing your weight back. This is a really nice way to release your hamstrings and your hip. Now we're going to do Trikonasana. So we drop the back heel. Now we're going to turn the navel up and work on straightening that left leg. It won't be completely straight. See, I'm moving belly up, arm up. It's not stretching back. I'm lengthening towards the ceiling. Okay, rather than sinking down. You can look up if you want to. Not great for everybody's neck, but it does help to strengthen those muscles. You could do it for a little while. All right, but most importantly, your feet. Your feet are your foundation in any standing pose. So I want you to stretch the mat apart with your feet, but relax the core. Second variation, drop the right arm. All right, and let's just imagine again that this soft right arm has strings like Pinocchio's arm. It's moving forward. Your armpit is going to touch your ear. You're going to turn your navel up. Then you're going to lengthen into your fingers. Ribs in. Stretch out through your, or push out through your back foot. So you're creating that movement from the core, but you've got a firm, strong foundation. Let the shoulder drop again. Roll the right shoulder in, wrap it around the waist. Grab something, could be material. Remember, your head and your belly are two separate things. Turn your navel to the ceiling if you can. Keep pushing out through your back foot. This will make you strong. This is what engages your core. Don't tense your core, just create organic activation always. Release, come into warrior 2. So warrior 2, we're going to push this left sitting bone to the front heel, tailbone to the back heel. I'm squeezing my front heel to the right side and my knee is not doing this. Hope you can see it's tracking nicely between my toes. My bum's not sticking out. And we can spiral with the arms, so inner elbows up, palms back to the floor. We didn't do that in Trikonasana before, did we? Alright, now focusing on the belly. Can you turn your navel as if to the back of your mat without letting that front knee move? Soft right arm. 1, 2. Let's loosen up the shoulder. 3, 4. Last one. 5. And holding on or hugging the imaginary tree, heels to toes, bottom bones to heels, leaning back slightly, belly relaxed. Elbows back. All right. Cocktail or coffee, you decide. It's in the right hand. We're going to go over to the left. We're offering it all the way around to the right side. Shoulder in once, twice, 3 times. Left hand cocktail all the way around to the left. 1 and 2 and 3. Beautiful. Shoulders in, back of hands together, arms up. Hold on to the inner thighs. This is the J-Lo, great for your digestion. So left shoulder to the right heel. Right shoulder to left heel. 1 more each side. From here, either adjust your feet, put your hands on your thighs and stay in that position. If it's comfortable for you, hands on the floor, adjust your feet, slightly pigeon-toed, And same thing, we could easily collapse into our inner thighs, but we don't want to. We're going to push into the outer feet, grip with the toes, and imagine we're trying to get back into YogaSphere. There's a little bend in my knee, and if you're very flexible, I'd advise that little bend. You can bend more if you need to. Some of you can walk forward like we did on the other side, but if you feel comfortable, there's no pressure in your head, maybe you can see how it feels just to relax the upper body. And it's hard to get out of that habit of holding on to tension in your body. There's this something going on, isn't there? This little sense that we must be ready for something. We must be sort of on high alert. And really, that's sympathetic nervous system stuff. And if we think about it, anyone who's driven a car, you know how your reflexes kick in very quickly. Have faith. Your reflexes will kick in if they need to. And give yourself permission to relax, surrender, and feel safe. Now, the little twist we're going to do on this side is slightly different. Doesn't matter where your arms are. And the simple version, you just walk over to the right. Just go as far as you can without it feeling too stretchy. For those of you who like to add on, belly to the right. Feel as if you're aligning your belly button and your right thigh. And instead of pulling those two things together, arms into outer space. So next week I'm going to show you a stronger shoulder stretch. Okay, but we'll just stick with this one for today. Back to the center and walk it over to the other side. So that's a gentle version, do what you can. To add on, you visualize your navel, your left thigh, move them a bit closer towards each other, but instead of pulling them towards each other, maybe you could take your hands into outer space. So your body's only doing what it can do without you forcing it into another position. Let's go back to the center and shimmy or spring into YogaSphere. Tuck forward, lengthen between the fingers, lawn mowing. 1, make it flowy. 2 and 3. You know the easy version. Do what you can. And foot to the floor. Let's do some energy balling. So we want to move that trunk because we want the blood to flow nicely, easily through the organs. We want the organs to be massaged. I want them to be nourished. I want you to imagine if you put your clothes in one of those bags that you store things in and you squeeze all the air out. Imagine if that's your organs because you're squeezing your belly every day. And on the other hand, imagine a suitcase that doesn't have enough in it and everything flies all over the place. There's a happy medium. Firmness without tension. Let's come down into Uttanasana. Relax, relax, and come down to the floor. So ideally we're on our shins for this one, but if you don't feel comfortable on your shins, we're stretching the hands. You can sit on a chair, you can do whatever you need to do. You can even put a cushion under your knees. So just with your hands on your tummy, I want to show you what I mean by organic muscle engagement. So if you put your hands on your tummy and then push the groins forward, you feel, oh, went a bit firmer. Lean back, goes really firm. Okay, so this is organic muscle engagement, and you should still be able to breathe, but the sides of the abs are still quite soft. Hope you can see that. All right, so let's take the arms back, push into the heels of the hands, stretch the fingers to the floor, roll the shoulders in, bring the arms forward, squeeze the hands into fists. Now we've got left hand on the right, right hand on the left, palms together. Try and keep the palms touching, bring the hands through, work on straightening your arms if you can. And if you can, then you're turning your hands anti-clockwise, and that gives you a little bit of something else. So this indirectly stretches out the wrists. It's more of a forearm stretch. So for lots of people with issues in their wrists and hands, it's coming from tension in the forearms. You can also get in and give it a good massage. It's hard. Right hand on the left, palms together, bring the hands through. Keep the palms touching, and you're possibly turning your hands to the right. So if you spend a lot of time, you know, on a computer, doing little micro tasks with your hands, they get sore. And relax, bringing your shoulders in, back of hands together, arms up. Now maybe you can lean back, push the belly forward, grab the mat, spread your fingers, and we're going to press all of the fingers down. Don't worry about the thumb for now, but we're going to press down the little finger, ring finger, then the middle finger and the index finger. Let's do it again. Now, when you take your palm, your thumb and your thumb pad back down to the floor, can you appreciate how you've distributed that weight between the whole of the surface, all of your fingers, the palm, the thumb pad, and maybe you're not just sinking habitually into your wrist, which is what happens. This is another habit. Let's not do this when the hands are on the floor, and I want you to remember it later. So round out the back, right leg back, not going to kick anything, no, left arm forward, ribs in. Not this. It's hard. Now doing the next exercise, it is hard to keep your form, but I'm getting better at it. I threw it in for Irene because she needs challenging. You can bring your left hand to the floor if you want to. Okay, are you ready? We go 1, knee to shoulder, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're just going to take that knee back to the chest. We're going to go into Parigasana. So what I want you to do is right foot to the back of your mat or off the mat, weight into that right foot. Now we're just going to be maybe on a few fingers of the left hand, and this arm is soft like it was in Trikonasana, the right arm, because it's going forward. And I would discourage you from doing this. I would prefer if you do that because it feels nicer, it doesn't clunk, you get more length. All right, now if I come up onto one little tippy index finger or take my hand off the floor, can you hear that? That's my muscles really firm. They're working organically. I can talk, I can breathe. If I lift my right leg and just use my fingers to balance, same thing. I can't really touch, but actually I can because I can do that. All right, and you can play around with both if you want to. Super hard. I can't do it, but maybe you're better than me at this. And then bring the right hand to the floor. Now we're going to push the right heel closer to the floor. It's like we're about to run a race. That will stretch out the calf a little bit. And back down. Second side, so we're going to do that with the left leg. So left heel to the floor or towards the floor maybe. Now we're in the right position now to go into Gomukhasana. If you don't like it, doesn't suit your body, kneel and stretch forward. But if it's possible, your right leg is going over there to the left side and you're sliding your left leg down behind and you're working towards bringing your bottom to the floor, squeezing your inner thighs together. And you know, if you want a little bit more when you're doing this pose, you can walk it around to one side, stretch into the fingertips maybe of the left hand if you're going right like me, over to the other side and lift up. That gives you a little bit of something else. Let's go back into cat pose. All right, let's not forget what these hands are doing. All right, because it's easy to fall into habits, isn't it? So left leg back, right arm forward, ribs in, don't sink. Are you ready? You can take that hand down if you want to, thigh to chest, knee to shoulder. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One last knee to chest, left foot to the bottom of the mat. This is Parigasana. Just going to balance on my fingertips, right? Not sinking down. And that left arm goes forward, soft, see, relaxed. Goes forward, then I lengthen into the fingers and I get the side stretch. Feel these muscles working. Maybe you can lift the left leg off the floor. Maybe you can play around with both, which is so much harder than it looks, but you can feel your core muscles working, yes? Much better than sit-ups. Trust me. All right, let's push the left heel a little bit closer to the floor. Let's try the right heel. And again, if Gomakasana is not for you, that's okay. Kneel and stretch forward, but if you want to try it, you love it, left leg to the right, right knee slides behind, bottom towards the floor. You can always pop a block or a cushion under your bum. Block of flats. And again, we could walk it around to one side if we wanted to add on, lengthen into the fingers, and the other side if we wanted to. Something a little bit different, back into cat pose. All right, I'm coming this way. So we're going to do chaturanga. Obviously, you don't have to do it. It's hard. Come down onto your tummy if you prefer, but it's all about the form. I will post that little video that I did the other day about plank on the page. I did put it on the YogaSphere page, but I'll post it for you. If you're having trouble with this one, it gives you a few tips. So cat or plank. All right, see I'm not sinking? It's a scoop, always a scoop, same position, everything is the same. Look forward, inner elbows forward, shoulders over the wrists, breathe in, come down with your elbows in, not chicken wings when you lie on your tummy. And it's hard, but it's much easier than doing it wrong. This is Shalabhasana. So we're rolling the thighs in, we just gently press the belly down, have your elbows maybe a tiny bit wider than your shoulders, squeeze your hands into a fist, pull the elbows as if to the hips. Then as you push the armpits down, lift your sternum, your breastbone up. And that gives you that feeling of lengthening the front of your body, your chest, without going into the lower back. And also it gives you the idea of reversing your curves a little bit. Okay, so it's almost like you're back arching your upper back, which doesn't really back arch. It does feel quite nice, a bit of relief. Relax. All right. Now I'm not very good at mirroring this one, but I think you guys know it anyway. We're going to take the left knee out to the left side. This is where we stretch out the pecs, push the tailbone down and grab them out on the left side. And I just want you to look carefully, because this is sometimes what I see. This isn't going to do anything. You may as well just get a pillow and go to sleep. You see this arm? Not doing anything. So listen carefully, because these muscles get very tight. When they get tight, they're affecting your neck, they're affecting your shoulder, they're pulling you forward. Okay, so left hand grabs them out on the left side. This is midnight. That's 3 o'clock, and I want your arms somewhere in the middle, which is about 1:30. It's not that. Can you see the difference? Spread your fingers, bend the elbow, push that arm down, push your pec down. It's like you're having an arm wrestle with the floor, and your pec has been super glued to the floor. Now I'm going to use my left hand as if I'm trying to undo the super glue. Does that make sense? So I'm not here. I'm using this left hand to lift. I only say this because I know some of you guys know these poses. You've done them forever. Some of you, I've never had you in my class. I have no idea what you're doing. But I want you to do them correctly, because you'll get the most amount of benefit. Now, because these muscles are tight, we have to be careful. We don't want to overdo it. Now, when I do these poses in class and haven't done them for a while, they're very intense for me. But I've done them for a few weeks now again, so that I feel better. If you do, you can take your left toe tip behind. But can you see I'm still pushing that pec to the floor? It feels okay. It didn't in week 1, because I hadn't done them for a while. Back to the first position. All right, now check in. Oh, hey presto, my shoulder feels a lot nicer. Right knee out, push the tailbone down. Let me move up a little bit here so you can see. So again, I've got my right hand here next to my chest. This is midnight, that's 9 o'clock. We want this arm at 10:30. Then you bend the elbow. And then I want you to feel like you're pushing down into the floor as if you're having an arm wrestle, and you've glued your left pec, this bit, down to the floor with super glue. And then again, it's not this. That's not it. I want you to feel like you're trying to lift your chest. If you've got big boobs and they're getting squished, imagine you don't want your boobs getting squished. All right? So as I lift up, I'm pushing my left pec back down into the mat. All right, that's how you create resistance, and you don't need to go very far to get a sensation such as the one I'm getting now. Some of you maybe could take your left toe tip behind, but you can see I'm still pushing my pec down. This is my stiff arm. This is my mouse arm. Never underestimate what a computer mouse will do to your shoulder, because I'm right-handed, but my left shoulder is tighter than the other one, because I had to use my left hand for my mouse because I destroyed my right shoulder using a mouse with my right hand. Back to the first position. That should feel a bit nicer. Okay. Last intense exercise, which you might decide I'm just going to do this now. That's okay. Do this one if you want to. This is swimming. You can do just with your arms, just with your legs, or do the whole thing with me. So I'm going to move over again. I'm going to hit the chair. So keep your chin in, so neck is long. Are you ready? You can keep your toes on the floor if you want. Otherwise, we'll do 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 33, 34, 35. Relax, everybody. Relax. Soften. Enjoy that sensation of softness and release. And we're going to go from here into kneeling, stretching forward. We're going to do it via the worm. A worm is a forward bend. If you're not sure what I mean by forward bend and back bend, this is the habit. You can have a look. Isn't it something like this? Get out of that habit, otherwise neck, same thing over and over again. So forearms here, elbows close to the chest, shoulders away from the ears. Keep your chin in. We're not moving from the head, we're not moving from the chest. Pubic bone to the chin, and then we end up in a forearm cat position. We can walk our knees a bit closer, come up into a normal cat position, round out the back, which is a nice counter pose for the back arches. Take the knees wide, and if it's possible for you, bottom on your heels. If there are issues with your neck and your shoulders, just drop the forearms to the floor where they are. No issues, let's creep the fingers to the bottom of the mat. And again, you can have a look. I'm not doing this. This is what I see sometimes in class. It's okay, but what's the point? There is no point. That's the bottom line. Walk your fingers to the bottom of the mat. Spread your fingers, and remember how we did before when we were distributing our weight? That's what I want you to do with your hands now. I want you to imagine your weight bearing, even though you're not. What happens when you do that? Well, suddenly it feels a bit more intense. My hands feel warm. I'm pulling blood into my extremities. What does that mean? It means I'm improving my circulation. Bring the chin in, upper back to the ceiling, armpits to the floor. What happens when I improve my circulation, do you think? Well, if you can imagine a stagnant pond compared with a flowing river, which is nicer? Which is cleaner, do you think? Which is flushing out more rubbish, moving it along? You know, this is what you want for your body. I think that for the majority of people, we're very focused on diet, but we really need to focus on circulation. That is what is going to make the difference to your overall health. I would bet my house on that's why some people live longer than others, even when they don't seem to do the right thing. They have a better circulation for whatever reason, I don't know. Obviously we can improve that with diet and exercise, but exercise where you tense all the time isn't helpful. Where you're told to squeeze things and tighten things, not helpful. Now stay here, or you can do the next little sequence with me, which is down dog. Okay, so we're going to come into cat pose, and you've got the option in this little sequence to do either Parigasana again or the wild thing pose. So let's go back into down dog, walk it out if you need to. Ideally, I want you to feel the same in your spine as you did when you were kneeling, stretching forward. So again, we're going to use our hands carefully. Did you forget again? Did you forget?
push into your palms, resist gravity, spread the fingers, look towards the belly button. Push if you can, your bottom bones to your heels, armpits down, breathe into the belly. Try and relax in your stressful situation. Rest if you want to, or take the weight to the left foot, lift the right leg. Right foot to the left, right palm slides up, turn the back foot, and this is Wild Thing pose, but if you want to turn it into Parigasana, just drop the right knee. Look something like that. Back into the down dog. Again, check. Oh, did I forget? Am I sinking into my wrists? Don't do that. Use your fingers. Remind yourself by lifting the palms, armpits down, chin to throat, bottom bones to heels. Second side, let's lift the left leg if possible. Left foot to the right. Left palm slides up. Turn the back foot. This is the Wild Thing pose. Drop the left knee to the floor for Parigasana. For those of you who like to add on, well, there's a back arch version of the Wild Thing. Back into the down dog. Lovely. Drop the knees to the floor. We're nearly there. So we're going to come into sitting. Do it your way or my way. And again, we're just going to stretch across the chest a little bit. Be mindful because those muscles do get tight if you're like this all the time. You're carrying babies or driving or whatever. So have your fingers facing towards your bottom, shoulders down. All right, now your elbows. Imagine they're trying to touch each other. Yeah, elbows trying to touch each other. I'm not asking you to move your head, but the same thing happens. I say lift your chest and this happens. That's your head. So when you're ready, push your chest forward and lift your sternum. Your sternum is your breastbone. Keep imagining that your elbows are trying to connect. Can you feel that? Yeah, I can. Always tight in the front of my body. Leave it like this, or try the table pose, not to be confused with the hammock pose. So bottom towards the heels, breathing in, lift up, shoulders towards the hips. Don't just drop your head back, everybody. I can see you. If you want to do something with your head, it's chin forward, look up. Don't just drop your head back willy-nilly. Use those muscles, make them strong. Bring the chin in, come down. Roll the shoulders in, roll the shoulders out. And go this way again. Come down to the floor. Get warm maybe if you need to. Grab everything that you want so that you can go straight into relaxation. So we're going to do just a couple more little sequences and we'll be releasing. Okay, so grip the mat with the left foot, right leg 10 centimeters off the floor, one-legged bicycles with the right leg, opposite direction. Okay, so we're going to go back to the first position. Bring the right leg up, crisscross, relax. You can stay there, or you can add on. Left leg to the right, reach for the ceiling. Leave your head where it is, or expand the tummy on the in-breath, chin to chest. Peel the upper body off the mat. From here, we're going to go into happy baby, lying back down. Hug your left thigh to your side ribs, not the chest. Now this happy baby leg, it could just hang out there. You don't have to yank it, hold it if you don't want to, but if you want to do the resistance exercise, you hold on to your calf, your ankle, or the outside of your right foot. And I want you to imagine you're trying to get your thigh to the floor, but your foot is trying to make its way to the ceiling. Elbow forward, and feel like you're trying to lift your armpit up so it's nice and firm. Helps to release your neck. Now I just want you to release that tensioning a little bit so it's not a sense of having a fight with yourself. It's enough, but for those of you with a bit more flexibility, you want to add on, let go of your leg. See if you can straighten it a little bit more. I'm not asking you to overstretch, just do what your body can do. Bring your arm on the inside of your leg and you're going to push your leg into your arm and your arm into your leg, just briefly, and then relax, and you might go a little bit further. Can you do it again? Lift your leg, or push your leg I should say, into your arm, arm into your leg. Relax, and then hold on to your leg again, or your big toe, or come into the position that you were in before. And now I just want you to relax, and I want you to experience a sensation that's not too strong, not too easy. Let's call it the sweet spot or the edge. Hug your thigh to your chest, pop your right foot down, left leg straight, 10 centimeters off the mat. When you're ready, let's do one-legged bicycles with the left leg. Does it feel different now? Lots of people say, oh, that feels different. Felt really clunky in the beginning. Let's go in the opposite direction. Back to the first position, slowly up. Crisscross, relax maybe. Maybe just relax there. Add on if you want to. Right leg to the left. Possibly you reach for the ceiling. Possibly you do the sit-up, expanding tummy on in-breath, chin to chest, peeling the upper body off. Relax, coming back down this time. Happy baby, where we're hugging the right thigh to the side ribs. Now maybe we just do this. That's okay. Resistance exercise, calf, excuse me, ankle or outside of your left foot. And you feel as if you're trying to get your thigh to the floor, but your foot's trying to move to the ceiling. Elbow forward, armpit up. See, my armpit's really firm. Now we're just going to relax that tensioning a little bit so it doesn't feel as if you're having a fight with yourself. That's enough. For most of you, some of you, straighten your left leg a little bit more. Don't overdo it. Left arm on the inside. Now I'm going to push my leg into my arm and my arm back into my legs, like I'm trying to get my leg to the floor and my leg's saying, no, don't do that. Relax. Let's try a bit more. Little push. Relax. And then you hold on to either your big toe or somewhere else, or go back to the first exercise or the first position if it feels better. But again, we're not looking for super strong, uncomfortable stretches, because overstretching or just basic stretching, passive stretching, it gives you short-term benefits. That is all. You feel better for a little while. Sometimes you feel worse. Sometimes you pull a muscle. We want to get strong. We want to get flexible, and we want to be relaxed. And hug the thigh to the chest. Pop your feet on the mat. Last little sequence, bridge pose sequence, and then we'll be relaxing. So press your feet into the floor. Again, my feet are slightly pigeon-toed, in as much as the outsides of my feet are parallel with the mat. I can create organic muscle activation just by pressing my feet into the floor. I feel my thigh muscles working. All right, pelvic floor. If I lift my pubic bone slightly, lift on my pelvic floor, well, that's done. So that's organic muscle activation for my pelvic floor. Bring your arms so they're on a similar plane to your thighs. And if it's enough, stay there. To go further, to do the full pose, keep focusing on the pubic bone, and as you inhale, feel like you're lifting pubic bone towards your chin. The front of your hips will start to organically lift. And then you can imagine you're trying to get into duck feet again, which creates a stronger feeling of muscle engagement in your inner thighs and your pelvic floor. Breathing into the belly, allowing that area to soften. Pop the arms on the mat. Now if it's enough, don't do anything else, and you can come out of this pose if you're ready. We're going to just do a second variation, which is nice in between stiff necks, but maybe too strong if you have one. We shuffle onto one side, bring one arm under, do the same on the other side, and interlink the hands if it's possible for you. Shuffling the shoulders down, pressing the arms down. And maybe you imagine you're trying to get your chin slightly away from your throat. Don't overdo it. Relax again in the belly. Drop your bottom a little bit. Release your shoulders. And for this last part of the practice, let's resist gravity again. We want to imagine the pubic bone moving to the chin, and we want to roll down from the upper vertebra to the lower vertebra using the feet
nice and strong, and visualizing an idea where all of those spinal joints are moving independently of the ones either side. And ideally your tailbone touches the floor before your sitting bones relax. Now you can bring, if it's more comfortable for you, one knee at a time to your armpits. Bring the arms in between your thighs. Give it a push. Relax. Hold on to your shins. Bring your knees just that little bit closer. Create some resistance. So shins into palms, palms into shins. And relax. And let's finish the way we started. So fish pose, broaden across the upper back. Press the shoulder blades down. Bring your chin in, relax the belly. Expand the tummy on the inhale. Feel as if you're lifting your belly, your chest, your collarbone, as if towards the ceiling. So the front of the body expands. And the middle of the spine moves away from the mat. Relax, allowing the back of the body to sink back down. Bring your knees together, pop the arms down by the side, give it a wiggle. And popping your feet on your mat. Either turn your palms up, just gently extending into your fingertips. This can be good if you drift off easily. I wish. Otherwise, you can rest your hands on your tummy. Leave your feet in this position or shimmy them out, let your knees drop together. Some of you might feel comfortable in Baddha Konasana. Okay? So we're going to do breathing exercise. This is Viloma Krama. So Krama basically means steps. Viloma means against the natural order. And I just want to maybe have you consider that sometimes when someone gives you instructions, you do those things, we all do, in a kind of perfunctory, whatever that word is, perfunctory manner. And it's really useful sometimes to practice on your own, away from this class, away from my voice, away from the instructions, so that you get to feel the things. Eventually the things maybe that I say, if you do yoga for long enough, same with me and my teacher, things start to sink in a little bit, but then you can put your own spin on it. Then you can really feel it. Otherwise we're just following instructions. All right, but this is our body, and we want to experience what we're doing rather than just doing it. Okay? So this particular practice, we're breathing in normally, 3/4 of a lungful, and the exhalation is in 3 even stages. So essentially it's exhale, pause, and then exhale, release all the breath, and you begin again. All right? So those are the instructions or the guidelines, but you have to take it and do something with it that is unique to you and your experience. Okay? Ideally you're trying to lengthen those pauses, but you really want to be in them. You don't want to be counting. Okay, 1, 2, right, now I can release a bit more. I want you to feel it. Really feel it.
next time you complete your exhalation, relax. So just let go now of any sense of controlling your breathing or anything else. And for the last part of the practice, we're going to do a complete relaxation, and I want you to be comfortable, I want you to be warm, I want you to feel settled. If you feel that way already, don't move, but if you do need to move, just see if you can do it as quickly and as unfussily as you can. If you would prefer to do a really long relaxation today, obviously you can mute this recording and you can come back to the last bit later, or you probably know the last bit anyway by now. So I'll leave that to you. You can turn it off and just relax and come up in your own time. Otherwise, I'll be here for the next few minutes and I'll take you through the visualization. So when you're in complete rest, the idea is not to just drift off and let your mind wander. The idea is to keep your attention steady, and it's why some people consider Shavasana to be one of the hardest yoga poses. Now, when we give ourselves something to do, whether it's the physical practice or a breathing exercise, this is much easier. So let's give ourselves something to do. This is a meditation practice called Dharana. What I'll get you to do is keep your focus pretty much on your physical body, your inner body, and within the parameters of the space that your body is inhabiting. So you're going to focus on sensation. You're going to notice things that maybe you don't pay attention to very often. Vibration of your heart, how the air in the room that you're in feels on the surface of your skin, how your clothes feel, the sensation of the material against your skin, and how different it feels when your skin is exposed to the air, and just where that stops and where it starts. You might notice that your skin feels different on an inhalation compared to an exhalation. You might notice there are colours and patterns behind your eyes if you care to notice these things. So let's try and continually bring our awareness back into the present by focusing on the experience that we're having at this moment. Your attention is drifting, just bring your awareness back. Again, if you want to experience a longer relaxation, you can mute the recording now. Otherwise, I'm going to take you through the final visualization. So the point of this particular part of the practice is to invoke the healing response. Whenever we focus on a part of our body, you'll notice it feels different. It feels a little bit more tingly. When you're practicing, you feel warm. All this warmth is an improvement in blood flow. Okay? And I think blood flow is and circulation is one of the most important things that we can improve on in terms of overall health outcomes. So let's start by focusing on the lowest part of the belly. So pelvic floor, pubic abdomen. Just feel as if you're taking a little sip of air into the lower belly and sense that whole area becoming warm, feeling spacious, feeling nourished. Maybe there is an emotional sensation attached to that particular area too. Just go with the first thing that comes into your mind. You can go back and unpack it a bit maybe later on. Bring the awareness when you're ready. Bring the breath into the main part of the belly. Just feeling the navel lifting away from the spine and visualizing the whole of your digestive system. How much better do we feel when our digestive system is working and we're sleeping really well? So a large part of the immune response is in this particular part of the body. It's called the power center. I want you to remember and remind yourself continually that it's governed by the relaxation response, hence rest and digest. Squeezing, tensing, worrying, overthinking, none of these things are great for our rest and digest response. So just see if you can visualize that whole area becoming more spacious, becoming warmer, feeling nourished, feeling nurtured, and importantly, feeling free. Follow your breath when you're ready into the chest, just feeling the ribs lifting slightly out of the waist, and this time visualizing your heart, your lungs, and the whole of your circulatory system working together to move blood, energy, and information around the body, and to bring oxygen and nutrients into your cells without impediment. And again, over-tensing, overthinking, overeating, over-breathing. These are the things that create blockages in your body. If there is tension in the throat, let the throat soften and relax, and follow your breath through the throat to the crown of your head. Just pausing to observe for a moment sensation at the crown of your head. And when you're ready to exhale, just see if you can follow that as a feeling of softness and release, not just in your muscles and your bones, but also because there is an idea of allowing a sense of non-attachment, a sense of acceptance, rather than a sense of struggle. So let's see if we can follow that idea along with that exhalation down the back of the head, the neck, upper back, across the shoulders, the middle back, lower back, across the top of the pelvis, buttocks, tailbone, and down through each of the legs, heels, and out through the tips of each of your toes. And in your own time, you can give your fingers and your toes a bit of a wiggle. You can squeeze your eyes, your eyelids together. You can bring your arms up above your head. Give your whole body one last big stretch. And you could either bring up your left knee to roll yourself gently to the right side, or both knees. Give yourself a bit of a hug, and then roll yourself gently to the right side. Stay there for as long as you need to. Hope you have a great afternoon. Namaste.